It was good. And welcome back to the channel. We're jumping into more Armored Core content today. We're going to make ourselves a tier list of all the Armored Core game openings. So with Armored Core 6 coming out, I'm curious as to see what kind of intro they're going to make for it. Each installment, except for Verdict Day, actually had a really cool intro. Well, some cooler than others. And I actually want to go through them all and just see, like where we started, where we're at now, but also kind of rank them a little bit. I've got my tier list here. It's, S through not impressed, because there are some that were, not very impressive. But I'll be ranking it based off of, like the music choice, the environment, how the ACs looked, like what was basically happening, basically what I liked to see in the stuff. So might make a couple of you mad where I place these, but hey, that's okay. This is how I feel. I'll leave a link in the description down below of the one I made. This is Armored Core games in general, but I just figured it'd be easier to use these versus the actual one. But like I said, you can make your own list. But anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the very first. We're gonna go in order. So this is gonna be Armored Core, the very first one, PlayStation entry to the series. And I'll try to, shut up through these things. So the FromSoft always like blinding us. Alright, so that's literally the first video of the entire series. So that AC that you pretty much see is like, I want to say like the mascot for the entire Armored Core series, basically. A lot of them always, you get like several variations of it. But just in general, music was good. The action was definitely nice in there, especially for like PlayStation graphics and stuff like that. I think honestly, as an opening movie, it had a pretty strong start. It just shows you that this is how you're going to customize your AC, and then you're going to take it on missions, and this is what's going to happen on missions. You're going to face off against enemies or face off against other ACs. Pretty fair, like pretty impressive as well. Honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and place it probably a C. I think it had a really good strong start. It kind of just sets the basis for it all. I mean, honestly, it may go up to B, but I'm gonna leave it at C for right now. So, all right, let's move into the next one, which is Armored Core Project Phantasma. right, so that was Armored Core Project Phantasma. It's sort of like kind of like just like a I guess like just a showcase of like this is what you can do in Armored Core. Here are some ideas, sort of like a almost just like a demo or a showcase, if you will. Like, you know, when people come out with like new car designs and stuff like that. I mean, honestly, like I said, it was just more just showing off different designs and stuff. So, I mean, the music hits. We'll throw it up there with the original. Yeah, we won't put it down. We'll throw it up there with the original Armored Core. So it keeps your attention. It gives you some ideas like what you can do. It's just like, hey, this is what you can do. This is what you can build. You know, now go ahead, take it to the next level. Figure out what you want to do with it. All right. So if I'm correct, I believe Master of Arena is next. All right, so Master of Arena definitely had a very, I want to say, a very strong identity from the other two. This one is now showing off more combat style. You still get the building aspect in the very beginning, which is, which is the core of this game, is just building your own AC. But I like how it actually features more combat, more like AC versus AC action. And then also, if I'm correct, this is the introduction for 9-Ball. If I'm correct, it's been a very long time, so my memory might be a little hazy on like what when he gets or when they get introduced to it and stuff. But honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and throw Master of Arena. We're throwing it up into B. We're definitely gonna throw it up into B. Music hits, action is good. Definitely a step up from the first two, and from the first two, it's like they kind of start building their formula of, okay, you know, we've shown off that this is a game where you're going to build your own AC, but now let's show a little more of like what you're doing. All right, and so next should be Armored Core 2, if I am correct. I used to get so mad at this intro so much because I built that blue AC. And for the life of me, I was always like, how come it can overboost and fire an energy weapon and still have enough energy to fly off? And it's just, I played these games when I was young, so my expectation was I won't be able to do what they're doing. But you know, you couldn't, and it was physically impossible in the game unless you were using a Game Shark or Action Replay, which I am guilty of using after I beat the game. So, anyways, but jumping into this one, definitely quality of graphics is definitely going up. But I'm not basing it based off of graphics because we already know that if we did that, newer generation would be wiping them out. But in terms of soundtrack is hitting, action on it, like action sequences are hitting as well. I like how there's like 3 of these blue ACs that are going against once again the mascots of the series. But we're gonna go ahead and place this one. Place it at B as well. Yeah, replace it at B as well. The game was fun and all, and like I said, the intro was pretty standard and stuff. But we're gonna place it at B. It may go up to A, but we're gonna place it at B. All right, next is Armored Core 2: Another Age, which was actually my very first Armored Core game. Oh, nostalgia's kicking in. So fun fact about that one, the original actual Armored Core Another Age didn't feature the gun sound effects at the end, and also it actually featured the saber sound when it goes for that last MT. But wow, MT, I do remember some things. Anyways, I absolutely love this one, just with the fact that it matches like with the music, especially like when you've got the more calmer tone for when the red AC is just walking through, you know, casually, and then it's really good because it builds up to when they finally meet and then, you know, end up, you know, squaring off, facing gun to gun basically. Look, I'm stumbling over words because I'm going down nostalgia lane now, and it's just making me even more excited and anticipating what we're gonna get. But yeah, that A, easy A, easy A, might even be S, but easy A. A couple things about that series is they actually introduced no, actually no, it didn't introduce anything different regarding like designs and stuff like that. Although it was nice to know that the red unit, the red AC's missiles did do what those did, where it just fired a whole bunch. Yeah, I mean, I can go on stories and stuff like that of like things I've made and stuff for like hours. But anyways, we got tier list to get through. All right, we still got like a couple games to get through. So let's go ahead and jump back into it. Next one is going to be Armored Core 3. Oh man, then the nostalgia and just that. Mm, mm, we have a first S. Mm. First off, not only are the visuals great, and like I said, I'm not talking like even graphic wise. I'm just talking about like visuals. Like we start off with the Raven. At the very beginning, you get it's like it's all in tune with the music. First off, you give me a song that features like almost like a female opera singer like in the background doing something to some techno. It matches. At first you're like, what in the world is happening? But it matches, and then you just get first off the dynamic battle between the two, the way you've got your big red one and your slimmer red one, the way the slimmer red one just jumps into the frame with how the music hits, and it's just I can go on forever about what makes this intro great. One thing I do want to point out, Tiny Red Unit, where it actually got in the free shots with that energy weapon. Yeah, that energy weapon was trash in the game too. So that's why it didn't do as much damage. That weapon was actually trash in the game. Um, I mean, it's just like you even got like the actual in game screen when the missile hits the helicopter. Like I said, I could go on for hours about what makes this intro S tier, but we're not gonna do that. All right, let's go ahead and let's move. Let's keep moving. I think Silent Line. Yeah, Silent Line came on. Is our next one. So let's go ahead and check it. All right, so for Silent Line, music is definitely hitting. Visuals, it's kind of hard to say because a lot of times, it's like you've got it almost seems like a battle royale between ACs. You've got the quad leg one, you've got the one that almost looks like it came from Armored Core 3. You got your mascot one, as we're gonna call it. I'm pretty sure there's a name for it, but like I said, I'm spacing on the knowledge for it all. This is actually the first game to introduce like the stealth kind of extension, so that's why at the very end you see like this AC literally gets its head blown apart, and then it shows like the AC right next to it because it was the introduction of like a stealth extension, which worked pretty good. Music definitely hit and stuff like that. Visuals, yeah, so they were there. It's entertaining, but I mean, it didn't give me the same hype energy as Armored Core 3 did, and it kind of didn't give me the same hype energy as Armored Core 2. Now, I might be a little biased because Armored Core 2, Another Age, was definitely on my favorite. We're going to throw that B for right now. Yeah, we're going to throw that B for right now. It might go up to. It's hard to decide. It really is. It's hard to decide, but yeah. Let's keep going. Yeah, yep, it's bright. It's Nexus.
Armored Core Nexus.
There's no argument for it. There's literally no argument for it. Not only is the opening song hitting just like Armored Core 3 was, I told y'all, you give me like a opera style like female in the background singing behind some techno music, and it's actually hitting and stuff like that. But it's just like, first off, yes, it is chaotic. It is just as chaotic as the last intro, but this one you have more clarity of what's happening. So you've got two ACs going at it. You've got one on its own mission taking out helicopters. You got one taking out MTs left and right. First off, those MTs look pretty awesome and pretty bulky and stuff. But then you just have like the awesome visuals of, okay, this one flips around, gets it back, it has its back to a building, and just all the glass shatters, and it blows out the leg of another one. He just like flies right into it, and then you just have like it just hits, especially like the opening when you just see it when you just see the first AC just slide in there. You know, it just slides right in and stuff, and you have all the rain effects and stuff. It just it's S once again. It like Armored Core 3. I could go on for almost an entire hour explaining to you why this is S. This is S. So you can't change my mind. This is S. All right, let's move on. We're almost there. So we're almost there, but let's move on. Alright, so that was Armored Core 9 Breaker. Killer artwork on the cover. Music definitely hitting. I mean, honestly, Armored Core has such a unique soundtrack to it. It's hard to say that the music's never hitting. But as far as we're gonna throw it up and see. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of just kind of like a showcase of, this is what you can make. This is how each one plays. Here are different combinations, stuff like that. Honestly, I'd be throwing it down to D if it wasn't for the music. Like I said, the visuals are nice and all, but it's just like it just doesn't really. It just showcases like a whole bunch of different ACs and battles and stuff like that. So, But yeah, so it gets C mainly because the music matches and stuff, and it's a good show. It's a good show. So the thing that Armored Core from the front has going for it is, first off, if there was ever an anime opening for Armored Core, this would be it. The thing that it's different is that it's not just showing up a whole bunch of gameplay as an opening movie. It almost looks more like AMV, to be honest, but it's doing it in a very better way. So basically, they took like what Ninebreaker should have been, it just made it better. And honestly, like in better words, its formula was better. So for this one, music hitting all the time, visuals were great. Y'all might think I'm crazy when I say it, but even though this was strictly like a Armored Core versus Armored Core kind of game, it combined a lot of what Armored Core was. It showed you that this is what you're gonna make. It showed you like this is how the game's gonna play. It showed you these are the maps you're gonna be doing. Like there's a lot to take into it and stuff. And it was definitely a very I won't say like sponsor heavy kind of game. Like you basically it was you're face off against other ACs at all times and stuff, and then you would just have like all these different little company logos you could put on there. So definitely like a almost like IGPX if anybody remembers that. But yeah, and I mean, like I said, the music got you hyped for it, and then when you're watching, just like, okay, this is really cool, and like the soundtrack really is what pushes it up to be above these three. It's like it's that soundtrack of unique music that is just honestly unique to Armored Core itself. We are almost there. We only have a few more games to go. All right, so we get Armored Core Last Raven. Definitely a very different tone from previous games. Didn't feature any like high action music. Didn't really feature, I mean, a whole lot. This was actually an introduction to where you actually had foot soldiers as enemies in the game. So, and this was literally one of those, honestly, yeah, this is your dire situation stuff. So the tone, like the intro actually matches the tone of the game. It gets like really, in a way, depressing because as you continue forward, the music changes and it gets more to like, okay, this is really about to be, you're the last one. So in terms of everything that happens for this one, I could throw it up to A. Basically, like I said, it sets the tone for the game. It literally sets like what you're about to play. Honestly, visuals are great. Still, once again, it's actually the first time we actually see like real foot soldiers like on the ground. Like, oh man, I'd hate to be like one of them when an Armored Core shows up. But yeah, and then of course, the action between the two Armored Cores is always fun. I don't know why these guys always gotta get their main arm blown off. But yeah, like I said, I'll throw it up there to A, just because of like how it presents itself, for like the entirety of the game. All right, now we're gonna move on to our PS3 era, which was the Armored Core 4 and Armored Core 5. Man, the way they have that intro start, it almost feels like you about to play a Kingdom Hearts game with all the particles and stuff like that. Um, really, this intro was nice and all. It was definitely featuring taking from Armored Core Last Raven's tone, being as this is a more of a not like a lighthearted, fun game, more like a. It's hard to explain. Like there's different tones, in which the openings happen. So for this one, I would definitely have to place it. I'd place it at B. You know, it's cool and all. It features a different kind of mascot AC. It shows you what primal armor is. It shows you like the side dashing ability and stuff. So it's pretty cool. But I mean, it's mainly just like a showcase to show off like this is the brand new AC. This is how it looks. Check out how much detail we can push into on this PS3 console. It's basically what it was. Yeah. So that was that was yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't even know if it should even go up here. Like I said, because it was music that was really driving these ones. We're gonna put this down at C. Then again, I don't even know if it even deserves to be in C. I mean, it was. We'll leave it at C. We will leave it at C. All right, so we got 3 more left. We've got Armored Core 4 Answer, Armored Core 5, and then Armored Core Verdict Day. And we'll see. All right, so that is Armored Core 4 Answer. Definitely has an interesting. Definitely had a really cool soundtrack to it, especially for the beginning. I mean, could you imagine just looking up and you see this Armored Core fly across the sky, like literally like a rocket shuttle leaving that trail of smoke. I believe it was called a Vanguard Overboost unit that you get to use in the game, which that was the introduction to that. honestly, when you see that it gets hooked up to this giant rocket, you're like, oh damn, like what is that for and stuff. And then you see it flying across as if it's going into space. You're like, man, this is really cool. And then it gets to the arms for it, and honestly, when you see the arms for it at the beginning, you're like, oh shit, like what is that? Like, do I have to face off against that? And when you see that, White Glint actually shows up at there, starts trying to handle business, then gets blown off, and that's when like the excitement kind of dwindles down because you're saying, okay, here it is. Its main cannons of this arms port are aiming right at it. What is it going to do? And it does, assault armor, but it's not in the form of like what is in the game. It just kind of looks a little mediocre, like style wise. I think if they had actually shown White Glint doing a little more damage other than spinning around shooting guns and then getting blown off of the then getting like shot off of the arms fort, I think it would have did a lot better. So like I said, it's cool to see, a helicopter carrying its main weapon, how everything's being hooked up to and stuff. Like those aesthetics are really nice and pleasing to see. It's gonna join Armored Core 4, unfortunately. Honestly, I almost threw it down here, just from what I remembered, but it can at least go up here. Yeah, it can at least go up here to where it can stand next to the other ones. Honestly, now, like even when I'm thinking about it, like once again, it was music that drove this one, showcase, basically core of the game. Honestly, these two may even just go down to D, unfortunately. And you know what, they actually belong. Well, no, this one is showing off basically this is our new game. Here's the new graphics. This is what we can do on the PS3 now. This was okay. Here's our new game. We're introducing arms forts. But it's the soundtrack that is saving this one and the new stuff that you get to do. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. All right then, and we're gonna move on. We have 2 left to go. Eh, yeah, it sucks that we had to this. Oh, honestly, when you look at previous installments of Armored Core games, I get it. They decided to branch out. Let's use tank tread legs instead. Let's use quad legs instead. We don't really feature a lot of those in a lot of our openings. But this one, like I said, I mean, it set the different tone for this game as well. This was definitely the new one in the franchise, and I guess it was supposed to take the tone of like, you know, more militaristic, I guess. I mean, the game itself is good. The opening, I skipped it every time. I just I just was not impressed with it. I mean, it was cool to see, you know, okay, this is how they're testing, you know, ACs, you know, testing the weapons and stuff. You know, this is how they're putting these things together and stuff. But then we get like those really quick clips of, you know, all these other different ones, but it's just like it's so quick that, you know, you don't even get a chance to like appreciate them. And it's just it was slow, barely any music to accompany it. I mean, it was definitely like a hard switch from what From Software normally did. It was just like it was. I mean, like it was. Think of it like a NASCAR. You know, they always went left, but this time they were like, okay, we're gonna go right outside, right into this wall, and go this entire different course. It was just like, yeah. I mean, I wasn't impressed. I just was not impressed with it. I skipped it every time. I'm not gonna lie to you. I skipped it every single time. I watched it exactly once, maybe twice. Okay, maybe more, maybe like 3 times to try and see if I get into it. No, I just couldn't. Like the trailer for the game was better than this intro. I would have gone with the trailer instead. But yeah, all right. So let's move on to this last one, which if you are an Armored Core fan, you realized that Armored Core Verdict Day did not have an opening movie, or at least it didn't have an intro to it. Sadly, it didn't. A really big upset and disappointment, especially since its trailer had one of the best songs on there. It also features one of the best soundtracks too. Yeah, so unfortunately, not impressed. It's just it kind of sucks that the Armored Core 5 series just like they focused the gameplay and stuff was better, but when it came to opening movies, it sucked. It did. In-game cutscenes were cool, but like I said, this is a Armored Core tier list for openings. So I'm pretty satisfied with where most of these stand. Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with most of these things. Like I said, I'm still unsure about these two, about Armored Core 4 or 4 Answer. I mean, I feel like they should be down here in D tier. I mean, it was great. Like I said, but it's basically like a showcase with your opera style, you know, like end of the world kind of music. And then, of course, once again, a showcase of a cool unit that doesn't really do anything. You know, I am going to put them down here. I'm going to go ahead and drop them into the D ranking because, like I said, this one at least gave you your core mechanics of what this game is going to be about. This one gave you a showcase of like all the different things you can make along with a banger soundtrack. And then this one was a great soundtrack with this is how this game is going to play. Here it is, you know, your slideshow of all these games and stuff. Whereas this one, its showcase was look what we can do with the new PS3 graphics. Is all it was. Like you look at this, you go, what the hell is even going on in this video? Like is he attacking the base or are they attacking the base? You know, who are they fighting against? This one is we're introducing the arms forts. Okay, that's cool. But you know, Whiteglint ain't putting a bunch of a fight against the arms fort. You know, if it like had flown past it and did, I guess, more moves, or even like got into the middle and decided to use assault armor, I think it would have been a lot cooler. But yeah, like I said, soundtrack carried these three. Honestly, I want to say this one may not even deserve B rank. Honestly, it might need to come down here to C. Soundtrack carried this one along with the visuals. Soundtrack carried this one along with the visuals, giving you your core, you know, AC versus AC action. These are undisputed. Okay, these are first off, soundtrack, the best. Visuals, the best. You know, you can clearly see what is happening, what is going on. It's clear. You don't have to question like what is happening here and stuff like that. And it's just like all the visuals match up with the music. You know, it was like these are 10. Like I said, I could go on for hours with how great these two are, but I'm not gonna do that because this video is probably long enough as it is. So anyways, yeah, so that's it. That is gonna be, yeah, I think that's gonna be my final tier list for Armored Core opening. So maybe I might do another one for games, maybe I might do one for, you know, other stuff. I do want to bring some Armored Core content to the channel, mainly because I'm excited for it, and I also need to get back into the groove of how to play the game and everything. So, but yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. This is the one we're gonna go ahead and stick with. So, anyways, let me know what your comments are down below. Leave a like if you enjoy this content, and as always, until next time, keep the vibe and rewind. Peace.